understand that you're enough. If we just take out the ego, the sense of self in the first place, understand that us just being is enough. What's up guys, back with another video. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. This one's a really interesting one. It's on social anxiety. I decided to do this video, and it's really something that's been plaguing people, especially in my generation, Gen Z, people born after 96, 97, something like that. And I'm talking about like just regular social anxiety, not like social anxiety disorder, which is even more severe, which has to do with more traumas and things like that. I'm not talking about that. But social anxiety is as in you feel uneasy about going to like social places or social gatherings. You think people are going to judge you. You think you're going to do something stupid, say something stupid, act weird, and people are going to label you a certain way. And you basically come into an interaction with a mind frame that's very negative. And you know, when you have that belief or that thought process in your mind about something going bad, it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like your subconscious mind is just going to play on that because you're ruminating on that, and it's just going to happen. Now, there are times when social anxiety is kind of like understandable, like for a job interview. If you're about to go in for a job interview and you want to get the job, you want to make sure you do a good impression, you're going to have some anxieties about it because you don't know how you might perform. There's uncertainty there. But where it's irrational is if it's just like you're meeting somebody and like it's just a regular person, stranger that you're meeting, and you have all of these thoughts, all these negative thoughts about how the person is judging you, how they're viewing you, or how a stranger is viewing you. And the reason why it's so irrational is because you're seeing it through your own vantage point. And you know all these things about yourself that are kind of awkward and weird, all the weird thing, quote unquote weird things that you do, and you think people see that when they see you. You think they have an understanding of your past or what's going inside in your head all the time. You think people are reading your mind. So when you do start speaking to somebody, you think everything you say is weird because you have them. You're coming from that frame of mind that what you're saying is weird. So when you think what you're saying is weird, when you think that what you're saying is weird, you're gonna start acting quote unquote weird, and people can pick up on that through micro expressions. It's very key to understand that, first of all, it's from the mind frame that you're coming from. Now, it's very easy for me to just say, oh, it's irrational and get over it. And it doesn't really work that way because it's a deeper thing than that. It's not just this logical thing, oh, get over it, it's irrational. If you've had it for a long time, it's kind of ingrained in you. It's who you are at this point. So it's gonna take some time for that to kind of relieve itself. But in my opinion, the best way to get over this is just through action. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations where your social anxiety just comes up and bubbles up, and live in it, like accept it. Just bask in that anxiety. Let it happen. That's like the strongest, most powerful way to just get over it through time, right? Rather than just like talking about it and just sitting on it. Oh, I don't want to go here because of this reason. And I understand, like, you know, people have childhood traumas and teenage traumas. Evidently, this comes down to self-esteem. As far as you know, this is like the only life you have. So you cannot live a life of just trying to avoid humans and kind of avoid social events, because think about the amount of opportunities you're missing out on, the amount of awesome people you could have met. And by the way, don't have anxiety about that either. Ironically, that can make you have anxiety about, you know, oh, I could have met all these people, and then yeah, don't anxiety about that. But it can really hold you back. So just go into it as open as possible and let those uncomfortable feelings come up. That's where the growth happens. That's you going out of your comfort zone, and over time you're gonna start getting used to it. People are not judging you as harshly as you think. You think they are because you're viewing yourself from your vantage point, and you think your brain thinks you and them know you the same way, which is not true. Think about when you see a stranger in public. Are you analyzing them really deeply? you know, if they're wearing weird clothes or something, you might look at them a certain way, and then you'll go about your day and think about your own things. That's exactly what everybody else is doing. When they see you in public or at a party, if they even see you, if they even give you like a second thought, they see you and then they're like, okay, they might think of something in their heads, and then they go about their day. Like, it's not this huge thing where you're the center of attention. I can't help to think of it as kind of like a form of a bit of narcissism, because you literally think everybody's attention revolves around you, which is not the case. So make sure you get out of your head for a second. And of course, a great way to do this is through meditation. Look at it through an objective lens. When you look at two strangers, right, through an objective lens, you don't know anything about their past. You don't really know anything about them. All you have to go off of is how they look, what they wear, how they talk, things like that. That's all you really go off of. And you know, the kind of the twisted thing about social anxiety, I read this on a article, is like the reason why people cling on to their social anxiety a lot of times is so that they can kind of beat themselves up about being in a social environment. They can kind of beat themselves up about it before other people can beat them up about it. For example, let's say you're going on a hiking trip with like a group or something. That group of people you don't really know, but you went there with a friend. You have all this anxiety about the trip, about the hiking. You think you're gonna fall or something. You think you're gonna mess up while you're hiking. What you do is you start talking to yourself and telling yourself how clumsy you are, how scary hiking can get. You start wondering about the terrain or where you guys are going. You have these deprecating thoughts that occur, and they're so deprecating that you feel that negative feeling before those other people can give you that negative feeling. That way you kind of feel more safe, because you gave yourself that negative feeling before other people can give you that negative feeling. Evidently, the cure to this is high self-esteem. And notice I said high self-esteem, not good self-esteem. I mean high self-esteem. It's a two-way street. So do things that increase your self-esteem and remove things that lower your self-esteem. So a thing that lowers your self-esteem is negative self-talk, which causes the social anxiety in the first place. Get rid of that. Replace it with positive self-talk. No matter, and in the beginning it's gonna sound so mechanical, and it's gonna sound forced, and it's gonna sound like you're not gonna believe yourself. You're telling yourself you're confident, you're not gonna believe yourself in the beginning, of course not. Because your belief system is that you're not confident in social situations. So you gotta give it time, of course. Do things that increase your confidence, set boundaries, do the hobbies you love, and understand that you're enough. If we just take out the ego, the sense of self in the first place, understand that us just being is enough. So if that's enough, you being anywhere in the world is good enough. It doesn't matter who's there. I don't care if you're in the same room as Barack Obama. You're enough. You're just as enough as he is. Socially, you guys may be given different value, but as human beings, you guys are both enough. It's really that simple. To recap, social anxiety in a lot of cases is irrational. It comes from projections that you have that you think other people actually have, but they actually don't. And to cure it, it comes down to getting rid of things that lower your self-esteem and do things that increase your self-esteem. Heed my word on it. Take care of yourselves. I say that for a reason, because you really should be taking care of yourselves. For reasons that are really different